is important to know this cross-chain and bridge proposed, because is a smart contracts should be deployed in both sides, and also a link element should be put in the middle. You can call this relayer, validator, or maybe in Avalanche it's called warden. And relayer is just a relay subscribe to events, both sides, and process action to to do this bridging.
Mhm.
So this is an example like Ethereum and Solana. So for example, the goal here is transferring one ether to the wrap asset on the Solana side, this ether, or in this case S, yeah, S ETH, yeah. Anyway, so at this and also you can transfer this one sol, the native asset of Solana, to the Ethereum side, like eSol, the wrap asset. So
Mhm.
this is the example, like you send one ether to the Solana side, and then this is the key. This ether is locked in one contract called the handler contract, and then one Solana ether is mint on the Solana side. You can imagine who is the owner of the handler contract and who has permissions to drain the handler contract. So you can imagine how safe is for users, because users never realize about that. If you want to back, you just take this as ETH, born this as ETH, and then unlock your ETH you put before.
Mhm.
So the same in the other case, like mint, born, etc. But you can see the problem here. It's like imagine you put, for example, this ETH, and this ETH was locked here, and user doesn't realize the relayer is down, and you want to back, and your asset is burned, and that's it, and you lose your money. Yeah, it's quite easy, right? Because all the money stored in the handler contract is not nominal. It's
Mhm.
like if I put one ether and you put two ethers, the balance for the contract is just three ethers. So if I hack the contract and I claim three ethers, the system is not going to say like,
Yeah.
hey, you just put one ether. No, no, I have the balance, so give me the money. So that's a problem. So yeah, I want to explain these two attacks. The first one, it was the wormhole attack. I I talked about this before a bit, and the other is less money. It's less money. It's $4 million,
It's
but
only 4 million, man.
it's just, yeah. When you work in this space, it's like how much they hack, and it's like 4 million. Okay, it's good because, but 300 million is like a lot. So this is the explanation of the attack. So the thing is, uh, a user, malicious user, realize that when you wanted to back, like I said, like you want to go from Ethereum to Solana, so you log your ethers and mint these wrap ethers. So if you want to back, the wormhole bridge just check the name of the token. That's magic. So not the address, nothing, just the name of the token.
Mhm.
So a user realized and decided creating, a new token, wrap ether. And at this point, it's like, okay, let's mint 120,000 ethers, wrap ethers, and let's try to pass through the bridge. And the system check, okay, is wrap ethers, so I will unlock 120,000 real ethers. That's magic. And it's like a super simple, not super complicated things, no super complex DeFi attacks, but you know, you can see like a, but it's just reading the code and creativity, as 80% or 90% of the things in this life.
What happens when these hacks happen? Like, is people ever going to get this money back? Is the company responsible of that, or they
That's the
just
problem. That's the problem because as I said before, you can you can call this Haller contract, but in other blockchain is called whatever. But in this Haller contract, they were more than 120,000 ethers, and this user was able to unlock these ethers. And as you said, these ethers, belong to someone, right? And this is super problematic because for the Warhol Bridge, it was difficult for them, to rebuild trust with users.
yeah.
And not only that, uh, new, I think this is a super risky business is insurance companies. So some insurance companies, you pay like some monthly amount. It's like your insurance, for your car or your house or whatever. You pay a monthly thing, and if your contract is hacked, you will receive money. So if you check, if you check when a hack happened, you check, okay, this project had an insurance, because if this project is going to lose everything, the insurance company may be the same. So at the end, it's like a hacker is able, an attacker is able to destroy both companies in just one attack. So, but yeah, user is like, it's like when you are a VC, a venture capital thing. It's like you put your money there. It's something risky, but at the end you can earn a lot of money.
Yeah.
But also, this thing happen, and the responsibility is for the company. But as you said, it's like this market is not regulated, so the company could say like, okay, not my problem. So
How easy how easy would be to find the guy that hacked these Ethereums? Because obviously I guess that as long as the Ethereum is still in the network, that is going to be very very complicated. But at some point, this guy will want to use this money, let's call it in the real world.
yeah,
Um,
this is the worst thing for attackers, maybe, and the worst thing for 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 the guys who lost the money. So, for example, in Poly Network, uh, some companies trying to follow this money, checking a lot of transactions, using a lot of tools, and so, and at the end, the user, because maybe if the attackers, they are not very organized, like because these kind of attacks, most of them, they are not carried out by advances persistent threats or something with a super infra or something. So maybe the real point here is like, try to find out which kind of mistakes they made, right? So in Poly Network, some people follow this, and at the end they arrive to a centralized exchange in China. It was Hubei in Poly Network, and the guy, was registered there, but there by KYC, using KYC.
oh,
So they send the information to the police, and at the end, the guy reimbursed the money to the project, because, but there are some alternatives. I read many papers about that, how to remove the money from this kind of system, and people, I think bad people are super smart, sometimes more than good people. So they found this, failed countries. For example, these kind of countries, they
Mm-hmm.
are not recognized by international community. So at the end, if they are not recognized, one example is Kosovo or Djibouti or whatever, they are making a lot of money exchanging crypto for cash, in real time. Yeah, I read a paper, a report from the FBI, and they said that, like they realize people are using this kind of failed countries in terms of doing this
To cleaning
malicious
the
thing.
cryptos.
Yeah, yeah, washing money. Another point is doing the NFTs thing. Like so many opportunities for attackers in the but
The crypto space.
at the end now the community is more concerned. And for example, Etherscan, automatically you can submit addresses you check are related to a hack, and they put a tag like this address was related to a hack, or this address could be a fish, an address used in a phishing or something. So I
Hmm.
think community is more concerned now, and for the attackers it's more difficult to do that.
Okay, okay. Do you have another example?
Yeah, so the other is this is cool as well because it's like so the attacker used this bridge deposit function in order to deposit this tiny amount of BNB so into the bridge contract, and the bridge contract was connected to multiple chains like Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, Moonriver. Moonriver is the parachain in Kusama. Kusama is the Polkadot testnet,
Hmm.
but it's curious because Kusama uses real money, not faucet or something. So Moonriver is like a blockchain based on EVM running on top of Kusama. So the thing in the function called bridge deposit, the attacker injects like malicious data, like a payload. We,
Hmm.
we are we are more related in the traditional cybersecurity space, like this payload. So then the bridge deposit function calls the other function, this ERC20 handler deposit function, and the resource ID, uh, they they put like this the same resource ID and the same token address. So being said, they were able, to explain like easier. It's like there were like two different functions, like deposit for ERC20 tokens is like the standard for tokens in Ethereum, and another function called deposit ETH, you know, for other kind of tokens like wrap ETH and wrap BNB. However, both methods cause the same events, and this is bad because it's like the system was not able to check if the user was depositing this. So in Ethereum, when you call a function, this function triggers an event, and this event has an event ID.
Hmm.
So it's super useful. Actually, it's something super recommended because, for example, for setting up a monitoring, it's more useful to track the events instead of the function calls, because the event being said, the function was successfully called. So it's really cool. But the problem here is like the system in meta.io was checking just the event. So at the end, the attacker was able to generate like fake deposit events using the function deposit for ERC20 tokens like completely empty without putting anything. And the event was the same. I said, hey, I'm depositing wrap ethers or wrap BNB. And at the end, you claim, and as we said before, the system just check if there are, if you have money there or not in the handler contract. So pretty much like the same case than the other, but I think a bit more complex. But you can say how curiously more complex attacks, and it was 4 million, and the other it was super simple and it was more than 300 million.
Yeah, no, I have seen cross-site scriptings more complex than this attack, and it wasn't value for millions.
Yeah. That's it.
So definitely in Web3, um, I guess it's all about the impact. Like usually in cybersecurity, you find this vulnerability. It can be more or less difficult, more or less cool, more or less complicated, but at the end, the final payout in bug bounty or the final criticity in pen testing is going to be regarding the impact, not how cool the vulnerability is. So I guess
Yeah.
that the main difference between traditional companies and Web3 companies is that any vulnerability in Web3 is going to be having a huge impact comparing that with one in traditional. Like, I mean, in
Yeah.
Web3, if you find a denial of service, you are denying people to do things with their money. If you do a denial of service in Telegram, it's gonna be huge, but they are messages. It's not money. The impact is not going to be that big.
Actually, one of the most famous vulnerabilities, it was the parity bug. And the parity bug is super curious because it's like the contract had a function in terms of, if the contract was being hacked, they were the ability to call a function in order to remove all the liquidity quickly, because we didn't have the new mechanism we have now, such as upgrade the contracts, or I don't know, like a post function or something. This I said in the past been said like 2 years ago. So 2 years ago didn't exist. So this company, Parity, they created this, but the curious thing is they didn't put, the function. You call the function, and if you are the guy who called the function, you can have the liquidity for you. And the point is they didn't put any modifier, so anyone could call the function. And I think maybe it's the most famous issue in GitHub. A guy put, hey folks, I accidentally killed your contract. I accidentally call all the funds to me. Yeah, that's
What a sweet accident.
yeah. Yeah,
What
it
what
was.
did I guess he returned that money?
Yeah, actually they contacted him, and they negotiate a bit. And yeah, but it was one of the best issues on GitHub I ever seen. Like I accidentally killed your contract. I have all the fonts for user. Oh my God.
So, sorry guys, like this kind of thing just happen. Is what it is.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh man, well that's fun.